right now, the economy has outperformed expectations by a long shot. This time last year, most economists or many economists would have said we would be in a recession right now. We're not in a recession right now. GDP growth is going way stronger than anyone expected. I think in quarter three, it clocked in at 4.9%, which even for a year in a normal interest rate environment, that would still be very good growth.
It's pretty robust.
It is robust. And so that's keeping the economy humming along. Wage growth is up. People have money to spend when they're making more. So people are out spending money. And the National Retail Federation came out with a forecast for this year's holiday shopping season, and they expect that it'll be a record. It'll be the most money spent on any holiday season ever.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle. I'm joined today by economics reporter Zach Halaschak. Zach, Federal Reserve has made an important decision about interest rates. Walk us through what that was.
Yeah, so the Federal Reserve met this week, and they decided to hold interest rates steady yet again. I believe this is the second or third time meeting in a row that they've done this. And basically why they did that is they're waiting to see what the economic picture looks like after over a year and a half of successive interest rate hikes. Interest rates are now the highest they've been since just around the outset of the financial crisis back in 2007. And so the economy hasn't really taken much of a hit. Inflation has gone down from its peak of over 9% in June of 2022. It's now around 3.7%, but it's not quite to the 2% level the Fed's looking for.
Right.
The Fed paused, though, because they're afraid that if they raise rates again and over-tighten, then it could cause the economy to fall into a recession. So basically, we're just in wait-and-see mode. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell did leave the door open to the potential for another rate hike down the road. But as time goes on, it's looking more and more likely that we could be at the terminal rate for interest rates.
So the economy's resilience, the fact that it's kept growing, and the absence of a new interest rate increase, that could mean good news for the holidays, could it not?
Yeah, that's right. So right now, the economy has outperformed expectations by a long shot. This time last year, most economists or many economists would have said we would be in a recession right now. We're not in a recession right now. GDP growth is going way stronger than anyone expected. I think in quarter three, it clocked in at 4.9%, which even for a year in a normal interest rate environment, that would still be very good growth.
It's pretty robust.
It is robust. And so that's keeping the economy humming along. Wage growth is up. People have money to spend when they're making more. So people are out spending money. And the National Retail Federation came out with a forecast for this year's holiday shopping season. And they expect that it'll be a record. It'll be the most money spent on any holiday season ever, an increase of between 3 and 4% from last year. And that's important because that's about on trend with what it was prior to the pandemic. And I think it was like 3.6% is the average annual growth during the holiday shopping season. After the pandemic, or right after it hit in 2020, 2021, we saw massive growth because there was a big pullback during the pandemic. People had all this money to spend that they haven't been spending because they were staying inside. So you saw, like, I think it was in 21, 13% growth in holiday spending. So we're not going to see those numbers. We're not going to see those massive increases. But what we're going to see is sort of a return to pre-pandemic norms.
Sure.
And that's certainly good news for the economy.
It'll be a holly jolly Christmas.
It surely will be.
So we have a new House Speaker.
We do.
House Speaker Mike Johnson. And one of Johnson's pledges was to put together a debt commission to sort of address the fiscal trajectory of the country. And you've written a magazine article talking about this. Walk us through what this new commission might look like.
Yeah, so we don't have too many details on what it'll look like, but I spoke to several lawmakers, former Senator Rob Portman, because he was very involved with the fiscal situation. And so what I was hearing is it's probably going to look something bipartisan, bicameral, so both Senate and the House. You might even have some budget experts or people outside of elected office that are going to be part of this. And the goal of the commission would basically be to make recommendations for Congress for bills or for what to pass. So we have to address Social Security. It has a trust fund coming in 2035. Medicare has deadlines quickly approaching in late 2020s and early 2030s. And so what this commission would do would be to say, how do we best solve these issues? How do we best solve the issue of bringing down our debt, our national debt, which is now 33 trillion, or curbing our deficit, which this past fiscal year is 1.7 trillion, I believe. So,
and all of which are very difficult for Congress to deal with in the normal order because of the political ramifications.
Incredibly so. No one wants to be the one who goes back to their constituent and says, hey, I voted to raise taxes. No one wants to be the one to say, I'm paring back a federal program that's very popular. So what this commission would do would allow kind of some political cover for members. So when they come up with this package of ideas and it's voted on by Congress, those members can go back and say, look, I didn't like everything was in it, but we empowered this commission, this bipartisan commission. And so we're not going to like everything that's in it, but it's important that we address our fiscal situation because it is not sustainable, the trajectory on right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out going forward. But certainly an original idea from Johnson. I know some others have spoken about it, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
They're going to just this commission's going to take a blue ribbon and wrap it around the third rail.
Right around the third rail.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
You can read Zach and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.